80 years ago, when war threatened Australia, Sir Robert Menzies, or Robert Menzies as he was then, was a backbencher in federal parliament. And he did a number of radio broadcasts aimed at Middle Australia. The people, he said, were the forgotten people. Not the rich and the powerful because they could look after themselves, or the welfare class because Labor was their champion, but everybody in the middle, building Australia, paying their way, but forgotten by politics in Canberra. And he spoke about a lot of the issues of the day and a lot of concerns, concerns for us still today, the rights of the individual, the value of a fair go, the role of government. Now, this philosophy is exactly what he then founded the Liberal Party, the modern Liberal Party on. And today we're joined by CEO of the Robert Menzies Institute, Georgina Downer, to discuss its relevance even today. Now, I have to say, I am a board member of the Robert Menzies Institute, so I work with the wonderful Georgina. Georgina, thank you for your time. All of these things he talked about in these broadcasts, freedom from want, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, they are front and centre today, aren't they?
Oh, they are, and I'm going to do a little bit of a promo here. I'm holding this facsimile copy of the Forgotten People broadcast that was published 80 years ago this month by Angus and Robertson, as it then was, and reading it now is eerily familiar. Robert Menzies, as you say, was a backbencher at the time. He had basically been pushed out of the Prime Ministership in 1941 and was casting around really wondering what the future of his political career was. And rather than quit or give up on political ideas and the people he was wanting to represent, he went back to the drawing board and he started these broadcasts every Friday night at 9:15 p.m. on 2UE, and there are 105 of them in total, but this book that was published 80 years ago this month is 37 of those speeches, and they are incredibly timeless. The iconic one is the Forgotten People broadcast, and that really speaks to the middle class. Menzies was very strident in his opposition of any sense of class warfare in Australia. But he said if we had to talk about class in Australia, he would talk about the middle class and their values, the importance of their home ownership, of their home's material, their importance of their home's human, their families, their children, and the importance of their home spiritual, their education, their ability to think for themselves, be critical thinkers. And framing that, of course, were freedoms, as you say. And this was modelled on President Roosevelt of the United States, his fireside chats and talking about four freedoms. So this wasn't out of nowhere. This didn't come from just Menzies' own thinking. But all these ideas he spoke about were designed to give a philosophical framework to a political project he would embark upon the following year in 1944, which of course becomes the Liberal Party of Australia.
All right, I'm not going to suggest that it all gets sent to the mailbox of every Liberal around the country, but where can people get it? Remind us where we can buy it.
Well, Connor Court, the publishing house, still has it for sale, which is fantastic, and you can buy a copy. I think it's $29.99. Right. It's, as I say, the 37 key speeches. So go there and buy it.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. I hope that's on the reading list of every Liberal who's lost their way. Georgina Downer, I know you haven't lost your way. Thank you for your time.